Ahsoka and Rey are fan favorites in their own eras and fan bases, but who is more powerful? Now, there have been many female Jedi in both canon and legends, however, both of these characters are the most popular and fan favorites. As for Ahsoka, many of us have watched her grow up all throughout Clone Wars, Rebels, and The Mandalorian. Also, she brought so many girls to the fan base as she played a key role in the Clone Wars and wasn't just a simple side character. For Rey, she was a nobody that was treated like dirt, but she always saw the good in people and tried to help them. She was thrown into a galactic resistance and was told she was a descendant of one of the most evilest beings in the galaxy, but still chose to fight for good and the light. Nowadays, these two are being pitted up against each other since Ahsoka technically existed in the Star Wars timeline long before Rey even became a Jedi. Which of these two deserves the top spot in the female Jedi category? Well, at the end of the day, it's up to you. But here are some strong points as to why Ahsoka would dominate as a better Jedi. First off, I'll name some things Rey is good at because I want to give credit where credit is due. In the Rise of Skywalker, everyone finds out that Rey is technically a grandchild of the former Galactic Emperor Palpatine or Darth Sidious. That means her ties to the Force are much stronger and go way back. She is also a fast learner, fearless when facing danger, good at taking care of herself, and having a strong mentality even when resisting the dark side despite the temptations. Now, the first reason as to why Ahsoka would beat Rey is because she had better teachers. Now, I'm not hating on my boy Luke Skywalker, but he didn't really do much in the sequel trilogy. When Ahsoka was first introduced to us during the early days of the Clone Wars, she was dubbed as Anakin Skywalker's Padawan learner. In all respects, she picked up a lot from Anakin and developed as a Jedi. Sadly, she never really finished the Padawan stage and left the Jedi Order before she officially became a Jedi Knight. Regardless, years of learning from the Chosen One made Ahsoka a formidable Force user. At times, she even outsmarted Anakin, and even saved him a couple times. Rey may have been a Force prodigy, but she was clearly lacking in many other aspects of Jedihood. The third time she and Kylo fought, it was clear that Kylo had become stronger and could have easily ended her in lightsaber combat. Now that's probably something that's not going to happen easily for Ahsoka. She underwent Jedi training at the right age and was properly introduced to lightsaber combat as well as more crafty means to using the Force. One look at their fighting styles between the two female Jedi ought to prove the point that Ahsoka is just a more professional Jedi. Next to number 2 is Ahsoka was a veteran of many wars. Ahsoka is proof that Force heritage or family background isn't everything when it comes to being a Jedi. She's gone through more trials and has risked her life more times than Rey has done before the age of 20. Ahsoka has notably fought in more battles and has more experience in combat. From when we first met her during the Battle of Christophsis, to commanding her first assault on Ryloth and then escaping the Coruscant Guard in prison, her skills as a fighter in the Clone Wars and other subsequent conflicts after that made her a more developed, seasoned, and accomplished fighter. At least this is true in the eyes of the fans. She also had aggressive tendencies. When in combat, she displayed determination to win, similar to her master's disposition, as she would also occasionally sulk when things didn't go her way. She often talked down to her opponents in battle, behaving as if she was superior to them, mirroring the attitude of her master. That extended her behavior towards enemies, as she often came up with degrading pet names for them, such as referring to IG-100 Magna Guards as stick tinnies, and even calling Asajj Ventress a hairless harpy, and dismissing Grievous as just another tinny. Ahsoka was prone to overconfidence, believing strongly in Skywalker's teachings of following what one believed, even if it meant being a little reckless. However, Ahsoka sometimes took that too far, even refusing orders from her own master. As the Clone Wars progressed, the intensity of its demands only increased. The dangers of war, combined with a desire to remain unpredictable in combat, led Ahsoka to adopt the use of a second lightsaber. It was a short blade referred to as a Shoto blade. It was yellowish green in hue and gave the headstrong Padawan an edge in close quarters engagements. Though Wataru Form 4 and Niman Form 6 were designed for dual blade fighting as well, Ahsoka elected to pursue the Jar Kai style in an effort to better understand Ventress' own favored form. Coming in number 3 is Ahsoka surviving Order 66. One unproven aspect of Rey's character is how she has never survived any betrayals or backstabbing attempts. Ahsoka has been through this kind of hell near the end of the Clone Wars as soon as Palpatine executed Order 66. Ahsoka expertly handled the betrayal and the swarms of clone troopers attacking her. She arguably did better than other Jedi Knights and even Jedi Masters like Ki-Adi-Mundi, Plo Koon, and even Aayla Secura. Having two lightsabers probably helped immensely with the blaster fire deflection, but she even managed to get the inhibitor chip out of Rex's head in the process. Before we got the last season of the Clone Wars, there was another story of how Ahsoka escaped Order 66, which is now non-canon. According to E.K. Johnston's novel, Ahsoka's duel with Maul ends with her trapping the former Sith Lord inside a Ray shield. Soon after, while Ahsoka and Commander Rex are still in Mandalore, Order 66 is given and the clone troopers turn on Ahsoka, all except Rex, who has already removed his chip following the incident with Fives, a trooper who was killed for being suspicious of the inhibitor chips. Together, they manage to fight off the clones and escape, as does Maul. But in order to completely disappear, Ahsoka and Rex fake their deaths. They even dig false graves using another clone's body for Rex, and Ahsoka leaves her lightsabers behind, which are still green and not blue. The pair then split up and make their way to the Outer Rim, where they go into hiding. It's a bit different from what we got in the Clone Wars, but I'm just happy we got to see how she escaped on screen. Just watching her grow up, having the Clone Wars all come together to Order 66 and having her escape was something all of us fans enjoyed. Next at number 4 is Ahsoka having fought several Darkseid users and lived. Ahsoka is no stranger when it comes to dueling Darksiders. Her considerable talent, honed by her master's training, personal practice, and the hardships of constant battle, forged a young Togruta into a formidable opponent, and her skills were successfully tested on numerous occasions against all manner of deadly foes. Ahsoka survived numerous one-on-one encounters with some of the deadliest weapons in the Separatist arsenal, such as the feared Jedi Hunter General Grievous and Count Dooku's own apprentice Asajj Ventress. In fact, she occasionally fought Sith Lords more powerful than the Sith wannabe Kylo Ren, such as Darth Maul and even Darth Sidious in Rebels. What also gives her an edge in battle is her being a Togruta, which appears to have strong force sensitivity tendencies. Ahsoka's people have an innate ability due to their montrails, which allows her to detect movement and the closeness of objects in her proximity. Since childhood, Ahsoka has been immensely strong with the Force and possessed enough potential to be chosen by Yoda himself as the Padawan of the Chosen One. Her fighting technique consisted of rapid switches and feints, darting from one side of the battleground to the other to exhaust her opponent, and under Anakin Skywalker's instructions, she became a skilled duelist. The young Jedi Padawan developed a unique fighting style that incorporates a non-standard reverse grip for holding a lightsaber. To this day, the reverse grip has become her iconic pose.
It's a fighting pose, you're a total poser.
Gifted with raw force skill, Ahsoka at first was only skilled at sensing the intentions and emotions of those around her, although she was able to advance in more skills once her training began. She also had a strong ability to sense things in the Force, feeling the presence of Plo Koon after his fleet was destroyed by the Malevolence, and the presence of the children who were kidnapped by Cad Bane. She also eventually learned how to perform mind tricks. She would sometimes use Force Choke despite it being a dark side Force power, but relied on it mostly to temporarily fend off an enemy. Ahsoka's overall abilities were so advanced that she impressed and was praised by Anakin as any proud master would be. However, the toughest Sith she had to face was none other than Darth Vader. I mean, finding out that your master helped kill thousands of people you grew up with, murdering innocent people and kids, and then ruling the galaxy with an iron fist must have been heartbreaking for her. This fateful battle between teacher and apprentice took place during Star Wars Rebels, a small window between the prequel and the original trilogy. Ahsoka notably held her ground well against Vader, though she did require an intervention to be saved, but she couldn't bring herself to kill the man who was behind the mask. When Ahsoka managed to land a blow to Vader's helmet, his voice modulator started malfunctioning, and Anakin's voice came through calling out Ahsoka's name, and Ahsoka told him, "I won't leave you. Not this time." She was referring to when she left Anakin on the steps of the Jedi Temple, when she left the Order when they didn't believe her for the mass bombing. She felt in a way that in her leaving, she was partly responsible for Anakin's fall to the dark side. After hearing her words, Anakin's partial facial expression appeared as if he was feeling sadness or remorse, then he quickly shut that off, telling her she would die. And coming in at number 5 is Ahsoka just having way more experience. As Captain Rex told the young Padawan before, experience outranks everything. Ahsoka had the luxury of learning from the established Jedi Council, and Rey, unfortunately, learned from a disgruntled Luke. Beyond that, Ahsoka went on hundreds of missions with Anakin, by herself, and even commanded a group of clone troopers in the Clone Wars. Ahsoka fought hundreds of droids, fought Force users, sustained injury and scars in battle, commanded clone battalions, led a rebellion, and lived through too many events to have enough knowledge and wisdom for 2 lifetimes. Ahsoka's motivation for her deeds was doing the right thing and making the galaxy a better place. Rey's motivation was basically a subconscious affection for Kylo Ren. Ahsoka became a character in her own right. She fits into her mold, and she gained a large following because of it. She didn't even need some sappy romance to become motivated. Yes, she had a thing for Lux Monteri, but the affection was never overt and they never kissed. And no, Lux kissing Ahsoka and friends in need doesn't count. So with having better teachers, being a veteran of many wars, surviving Order 66, having fought several dark side users, and just having more overall experience, this is why Ahsoka Tano would destroy Rey.